Alrighty guys, hello and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a 2v2 cast happening on Zerg Canyon 10x10 map. What kind of drew me to this map initially was the fact that it was in the Teammate and Me tournament that I played earlier this week with Emperor Penguin. That was a great set of games. Let me know in the comments down below. I have like that whole 8-hour stream uploaded, but let me know down in the comments below if you guys would like me to cut that up and give you guys some of my I guess things that I learned from that tournament. I was trying to think of a bigger word, like something more philosophical and something that was bigger, you know, just better. But let me know down in the comments down below if you guys would find something like that helpful. But Penguin was super cool, and I really enjoyed the tournament. So we've let this game go on for a little bit. Let's get into introduce our players. We're going to call this Team 1 up at the top, Team 2 down at the bottom. Starting with How Bass Tech. All right, we're going to call him How, like Hal 9000. How and Hal sounds kind of cool. And it is a Seraphim, so they've got to have AI of some sort. Going first land in Seraphim, getting to work on the hydrocarbon power plant. To his east, we have Lenkum, who is going UEF, opening first land in second air, it would appear, after the hydrocarbon is done. Got a lot of PGens queued up. Huge lines of PGens. Moving to their opponents, team number 2, starting with Unknown, going Cybran, going first land and second air, it would appear. This guy actually played in the 2v2 tournament. He was really nice. He had originally actually drafted me, I guess his partner, and then there was a whole like kerfuffle shuffle that happened, and I ended up not partnering with him. But he was super nice because we chatted a little bit before the tournament. And last but not least, we have IISS update S3. Okay, we're gonna call him S3, or maybe we should just call him AWS and just call him the bucket, the S3 bucket. All the tech guys will understand what that means. Going Cybran, opening first, second, and third land, it would appear. With the comm on the move to one of the expanding mass extraction points. So on Zerg Canyon, there's a lot of reclaim on the map. Outside of the stuff that people have already claimed, there's about 40,000 reclaim-ish. I think whenever all is said and done, it's like 38,900 or something like that. But a lot of it is concentrated in these little beautiful crystals right here that dot the mountainsides and the hillsides in that particular map. So crystal reclaim good, rock reclaim good, tree reclaim sometimes good. First raiding party actually out from Lenkum, got a striker as well as a snoop. Gonna be snooping his way into Unknown's backline potentially. Have an engineer that will very soon be protected actually before that tank actually gets here, so don't see this raiding party doing a whole lot. And if Lincoln was paying attention, he would have noticed that the comm is right there because he just had a scout fly overhead. But it's okay, I don't pay attention to 3/4 of the things that I do. Half the time I'm just headbutting the keyboard whenever I play this game. We have a bomber out from Hal 9000 or How Base Tech, or however you want to call him. How. We're going to call him How. Bomber out, a little Sinvey with a scout grabbing some of the engineers. There are a couple of mobile anti-airs though, so a couple Sky Slammers out here from S3 bucket. So the bomber's going to be a little bit limited as far as like what it can actually do. Looks like it gets a lock on this engineer though. Is going to be able to get the bomb away. Mex is going to complete though. Not going to be able to complete the reclaim orders though. And just right now, basic skirmishes, a little bit of an air fight. 2 interceptors from Unknown go up against 2 interceptors from Lenkum. Unknown actually gets a really good turn there. Gonna mop up both of these guys. Right? Maybe? Prowler seems to be prowling a little too slowly today. The bomber is still up there though, and is actually going to work on the mechs now. There's a Sky Slammer in the vicinity from S3 bucket, or IISS underscore update SIIII. S3 bucket just rolls off the tongue though, you know? No wonder AWS chose it. Anyway, The Cybern player is now moving his commander up the ramp, and his teammate is actually moving to this little expansion point here. Lots of good reclaim here. Going to set up a reclaim factory. Good, good, good. All good. And looking at mass numbers, team number 2 leading team number 1 pretty handily in the mass game, up about 30%-ish in total mass accrued, which is no laughing matter, even though it's only, you know, 4-ish, 4.2, 4.5 K ish mass. It's definitely not something to sneeze at. And Hal seems to be utilizing these bombers a lot, and I'm not sure he's getting a whole lot done with them. He did bag this engineer that was in update space, but unable to finish off the mechs, and I think that's the only engineer he's actually killed off with these bombers. So I need to think of a different strategy as far as utilizing air. Maybe just control air with interceptors and then go for T2 if you really want to go for air. Little party here though. 3 Mantis and Scout that gets almost instantly eviscerated. They're going to go to work on a couple of Thams. Mantis seem to not be microed though. It would appear that Update has forgotten that those Mantis are there. So anyway, now there will be crushed. The land factory will complete there for How. And that is going to be the end of that little raiding party. And actually Unknown down here getting another really good air trade. Looks like he's dangling a Scout out as bait. But here we've got Update moving his commander in on some T1 spam from How. And that commander will whoop that T1 and How. Hit it. Zooming out and looking at the map, How has semi-control over this ridge, and Unknown has pretty solid control over this ridge with gun speed and range 25% of the way done on his commander. And Lankum has tried a couple times to oust him from this position, but having the comm there makes it difficult. Team 2 continuing to pull ahead in the mass game. Now 7k up, 8k up. Total mass accrued. Where's that from? Is that from better reclaim? Yeah, so some of that is from better reclaim. But some of that is just from better eco on the mass income side of things. Yeah, so looking at Team 2, we've got we got 1 T2 mechs, a couple others on the way here for Update, and then for Unknown, we've got all core mechs up to T3 as well as some of the further away mechs. So Unknown doing a good job in the mass game, keeping pace, and also going for a stealth upgrade on his commander. It's going to be a tricky boy to spot. And large T1 mobilization here from How up against Update, in addition to some comm mobility. Both these guys do have vanilla comms, so nothing insane is going to be happening here. Maybe. There are a lot of Sky Slammers in this mix-up. These are mostly Sky Slammers, actually. There's only a handful of Mantis here for Update, and that's great at dealing with the interceptors, but the interceptors are not the thing threatening your commander. So How's going to continue moving in. There are a lot of Sky Slammers on the field here for Update. Tom gets back in range. Update drops down to 7,000 HP. The comm is actually dealing with some of the other T1 units. Actually might be just a smidge out of range. Well, since Update has started dodging, He lets House Commander walk back into range again. $5,000 HP. How running a little lean on units here though. And it looks like he does break off here. It doesn't help that Update is also harassing his northern section as well with a little army of T1. So rolled through, took out the engineer that was building this expansion. Is now threatening these land factories. No artillery. Well, I take it back. There's a couple of artillery in the mix, but nothing that is going to kill buildings incredibly quickly. And again, so many Sky Slammers. This mix of 12 units or so, it's 25% Sky Slammers. That's a lot of slamming. It's a lot of Sky Slamming. Think of how many nicknames we can come up with for Update here. We got S3 Bucket, and then he loves Sky Slammers, so what would that be? Can we make an Avatar reference there? Is that something we could do? Do we call him Aang, the Sky Slammer? I don't know. There's airbenders. It seems like they kind of slam the sky. But anyway, Unknown with the gun upgrade. Engaging T1 units here from Lankum. Lankum, his comm down on the low ground, also with a Zeph amp or a gun upgrade for the UEF as well. So these guys just basically tearing through their opponent's respective T1 units. Unknown in a little bit more of a healthy position though. And Lankum getting a little bit threatened here from S3 Bucket Update slash Aang the Sky Slammer with T1 units here in the middle. Oh, that's a ramp. I didn't know that was a ramp. Okay, that changes the game. That really changes the game. So yeah, Unknown is going to get, well, maybe forced off of this. Lankum doesn't seem to be committing his comm. He just seems to be throwing his units at Unknown's commander with a gun upgrade. Though Unknown is not moving his commander, so that's not really helping things as he's eating Lobo shells from above. But ultimately, there's not enough T1 here to threaten a gun comm. Especially a double-vetted gun comm. Gun speed and range, though, now on the way for a little update. Little update S3 Bucket Aang Sky Slammer boy. 30% of the way done on that. As far as mass totals, things have not really narrowed per se. Team 2 is still holding about a 9k advantage, although I don't think it's getting any wider. I think that was where it was last time we checked. It was Team 2 was about 9 to 10k up. That seems to be about where we're still at. So at least it's not getting any worse for Team 1. But Howe is still struggling to get control of this northeastern corner. And actually now, as I see this, Unknown in a spot of trouble here. Does have some rhinos to help, and help they will, as well as a point defense to fall back on. So T1 unit's not going to be incredibly effective here, and Lankum actually breaks off the chase. Does send in a couple of Scorchers though, just to, as an additional FU over the top. And seeing T2 now from Hal, so Ilshivas have made their way onto the field. The mighty Ilshiva, flexing its beautiful weapons. They do actually look kind of cool. Although they look kind of like, it's kind of like you take like a dog's hind legs and then flip it backwards and tell it to walk backwards. That's kind of what it looks like. I don't know, I'm mesmerized. Maybe I'm falling in love. Alright, Unknown, in trouble here. 2500 HP. Does have some T2 covering him. And Lankum not committing there. I think Lankum could have committed there. Potentially would have taken out Unknown. Would have been dicey. He would have been working with about 7500 HP. unknown down at 2,500. So would have been a little dicey. Might have ended up in a draw, but you know, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and he didn't take it, so he missed it. Stealth upgrade now on the way there for update on the eastern side or the western side of the map. It's your other west, Hunter. And now we have a T1 and T2 army here coming in from unknown. Are a couple of pillars here for Lankum. And update has still just been like kind of harassing with a bunch of mantis on this flank, mostly just making himself a nuisance, not really doing anything too terribly damaging. But these guys have been semi at a stalemate. They've been fighting over these two middle plateaus. They've been fighting over this plateau. This plateau has changed hands probably 5 or 6 times now. Gun speed and range on the way for Hao. Let's look at, and so we're up to T2 air. We've got Volthus on the way for Hao. He is up to T2 land, I believe, as we saw earlier, right? These are all T2 land factories. That means there must be a T2 HQ here somewhere. Where is his HQ? Oh, it's back here. Okay. Way back in the back of his base. And that's an interesting run by. We're going to keep an eye on that. So we are up at T2 for unknown. T1 air, though, looks like. Actually, we're up at T3. Already with a power generator online. And a nest of hives to boot. So that's pretty cool. Now we're starting to see the mass gap widening here. We're at 111k to 96k. Team 2 to Team 1. Even with the mass advantage, though, I'm not really feeling like Team 2 is really on the back foot here. Like, it looks like they have fewer units on the field, but it looks like they have more of the high quality units. You know what I mean? It's not all about quantity all the time. It's not just about going to Supreme Commander, Golden Corral Buffet, and getting as much as you can eat of kind of sub-tier food. It's about going to nice restaurants and getting quality units. And yeah, they're a little bit more expensive, but they do more for you in the long run. Like up here, these Ilshevas doing an excellent job of fending off a T1 incursion. Even though there is T2 in this mix, it is in the wrong spot, unfortunately. So the Ilshevas are doing a pretty good job taking out Mantis and Medusa and everything else, but we've got a nano repair here at 35%, and that comm is rooted to the spot, and update is very close with his commander. There is a gun upgrade here, but he is an unvetted commander, so not working with a ton of health. Actually, with the vet upgrade that update S3 Bucket Aang Sky Slammer has on his commander, they're actually relatively even on HP, so update just needs to commit on this comm. Is he gonna commit? No. Okay. That's disappointing. Let's move down here and look at somebody who is committing. So we've got Lankum going full commitment with his T1, T2 army, overrunning the initial defenses of unknown, rolling through a couple of T1 land factories, and they now turn northward. And as this force sweeps northward, it does come under attack from a Cerberus up here on the high ground, but not a whole lot in its way. Oh, but now we see the T3 coming in from unknown. That T3 factory that we saw earlier has now pushed out few loyalists. Actually, looking up here at the north, we've got a little bit more interesting things happening here. So, update S3 Bucket Aang Sky Slammer has now decided to commit with his commander and is now under a ton of Volthu fire. So as long as Hao can keep himself above 2500 HP, he's gonna make it. No, he's not gonna make it. That's gonna be a draw. Update the S3 Bucket Aang Sky Slammer Avatar Airbender draws with Hao. And as this is a 2v2 matchmaking game, full share is enabled. Back to our little raid here. It has swept all through this little section with a couple of loyalists nipping at the heels, but loyalists not able to stop the onslaught, and bricks actually being diverted in the wrong direction largely, except for one, maybe two being brought up to address this situation. Brick will end up opening up on this little raid down here. That raid can still do a lot of damage. Meanwhile, T3 units over here in the west engaging a mixture of T2 and T1 units there from Lankum. Lankum himself on a T2 upgrade. And I'm curious to see with the change of hands and with how much damage this raid has done as it rolls over a couple of point defenses that Engineer's trying to get up to mitigate some damage here. There's a couple of rhinos in the base, but not enough to stop this oncoming horde. Brick still in pursuit. So we'll see exactly how much of Update's base Lankum is going to be able to take out. But meanwhile, while he's doing that, he's got another army pushing down from this plateau, running into 3 bricks. And these guys just kind of walk through each other, smile and wave, and keep on their merry way. Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave. Lankum completes his T2 upgrade. I'm curious to see what the mass raid income is now. So with all the damage Lankum has done, Lankum has actually pulled a little bit ahead here in mass income rate. Assuming that 179 and 175, whenever these things kind of plateau out, is actually what we're looking at. And I'm kind of curious on the kill-death ratio. So Lankum killing it, literally, with the kill-death ratio, 1.45, and Unknown sitting at 0.69. So Unknown not doing a great job of managing his units and taking good trades right now. Hopefully we'll see the bricks turn that around a little bit, but there's only so many bricks, and there are just several fronts that Lankum is pushing in on, that it's hard for Unknown to have bricks in all of these locations at the same time all across the map. See how it ends up shaking out. Unknown definitely has the rating advantage, so 1500 or so to 1000 ish. Kind of like if you threw me in the ring with this guy. Pretty sure this guy could clean my clock multiple times over. But bricks now taking out some of these forward land factories, and Lankum evacing his commander. Throws a couple of overcharges over his shoulder. And these bricks, he also has Janus in over the top, so T2 Air has come in there for Lankum. Is he at T3 land yet? Alright, so he's completed T3 land, got a couple of engineers out, but no military units as of yet that I can see. He's working almost entirely with just large amounts of T2. Large amounts of Ilshivas up in the north. will be able to overrun that brick. And once again, Update's base is, or Update's old base is under threat from raids from Lankum. He even got a Lobo here, just killing a T2 mass extractor from the low ground. What a little sneaky guy. I don't even think Unknown has seen that yet. But the Ilshivas go tearing their way through Update's old base. We've got a couple of, wow, we've got multiple T3 land HQs, all upgrading to T3 HQs. That's expensive. Might have been because Update accidentally upgraded all of them to T2 HQs, and Unknown doesn't have another choice other than to upgrade them to T3 HQs. This Lobo's still tickling away. I think this Mex is dead. It's dead, right? Yeah. GGEZ. So you got several land factories that are on their way to T3 that are now going to die, and those are unfortunately sunk costs. You do have a pretty critical mass here of bricks making their way along the eastern side of the map. That is in a pretty good position to threaten Lankum's primary base, who incidentally is working on a Fat Boy. Working on T3 on his commander. Does have a handful of Percivals out, so we got 3 Percivals out. Got Janus's performing Operation Broken Arrow on these bricks that are underneath them. But going back, these Ilshivas have really carved out the base, the rear of Unknown's base. So zooming out, as you guys have been saying that you prefer me to zoom out a little bit more, so trying to work on that. Let me know if this is any better or if I'm zoomed out too much. Let me know in the comments down below, as always. We've got bricks running up against Otham, so we do have T3 Seraphim on the field. So every major faction does have T3 land. And we got another group of Ilshivas moving in here on the west, just as these bricks have finished killing the first little run by. These guys can't catch a break. And actually now we're seeing Unknown pull his comm in here. It's a good amount of Ilshivas. Like, yeah, you got a gun comm, but that'll still cause some pretty serious damage to your commander, although they're not turning around on him. Another little band of Ilshivas coming in through the north, and man, there's just Ilshivas all over the place. It's a freaking epidemic. It's an Ilshademic. Okay, Unknown's commander on the front line against these Ilshivas. And okay, yeah, this is not good. Ilshivas are starting to converge. Unknown needs to start doing some pretty fancy overcharging here. You can see on the mini-map that the run by was not hugely successful. Did end up killing a couple of mexes, but nothing too critical. Hello? These guys need to attack the comm, right? Alright, well, the comm just vetted again, so you've gone and made your job harder. Jesus, look at the HP evaporate from these things. It's like Lankum doesn't even care that the comm is here. Okay, now he cares. Ilshiv is focusing on the comm. Wow. Wow, that's a lot of damage. That was like 6 Ilshivas. And Unknown is defeated by Lankum. The little 1000 that could. I say little 1000, but I'm lower ranked than he is, so I guess I'm making fun of myself here too. But good game, well played, guys. Lincoln, way to hold it together. And well played by Team 2 as well, going for the draw, giving full share to your 1500 player. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out in the end. Anyway, guys, that's all for this evening for me. Let me know down in the comments down below if you guys liked it. If you guys didn't like it, tell me what you didn't like. That way I can change it. I'm trying to change these things up. But if you guys have replays, so I've stopped looking at the replay submissions channel in my Discord, just because I'm probably going to close that channel down, just because I want to encourage traffic to the central Forged Alliance Forever. So if you go on the Forged Alliance Forever Discord channel, there is a replay submission or replays to cast window, and so I would like to encourage replay submissions to that particular channel, and so that's where I'll be pulling from in the future. There are other people that pull from there, like Brink pulls from there, Guile pulls from there, and then a couple of the other smaller casters like myself will also pull from there. So I think that's it, guys, as far as homework. Really appreciate you guys for sticking with me. I hope you guys enjoyed the game, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.